Welcome to Reset to Healthier Relationships, Sunday night at 9. I am your host, Coach Glenda, here with course manager and co-host Rufus Carpenter. We thank you all for showing up and sacrificing your Sunday nights to spend with Reset. We really appreciate your attendance. This forum was created as a safe place where we can discuss our trials and triumph in past and present relationships. We encourage everyone to speak their truth and talk as much or as little as they would like. Now, before we dive into tonight's topic, I would like to allow Rufus Carpenter to give us a little bit about tell us a little bit about his background.
Okay, good evening. My name is Rufus Carpenter, and I come to this space a little different than most. My journey to this space started as a little kid in Virginia, a family of 14 kids, and there was 2 adults in that household. So it was a total of 16 people in that household, and that 3-bedroom with only 1 bathroom. So you can imagine the times we had. And then on top of that, if you had this privilege of sleeping with 4 of your siblings and one was occasional bedwetter, you understand the essence of human connection. I was married 27 years, and during that marriage time, I learned the thing about communication. I learned about trust. I learned about commitment. I really learned about forgiveness and compromise. These are the things for the understanding more of a human relationship than it is more about being married, because the human relationship is something that we all have, something we all need to be better at, whether it's a romantic relationship, co-worker relationship with your family. So relationships are very, very important. But most of my training didn't start there. Majority of my training was in the United States Army. When I was in the Army, one of the jobs I had was a race and relationship leader, where I had the responsibility of being the first person on the scene of any race or relationship issues we had within our units. And I would go in and I would actually check and see what was going on, do an initial investigation with what we call initial intake form. And then I would decide what level of authority or what resources we had to throw at solving that problem. So my background in relationship and relationship coaching comes from a very diverse background. The framework we're using tonight with this Sunday night at 9 is you and 20 of your girlfriends are in your living room, and you guys are relaxed in a safe space. And one of you two, you might be having a glass of wine because you're relaxed and you want to speak your truth. And the sisterhood is such that you have the ability to speak your truth. You don't know what the sister beside you may be going through. You know, she may dress her situation up really well, but she look like she got it going on, but she may be suffering. So when you speak your truth about your relationship and what some of your challenges and some of your breakthroughs, you might be helping someone in that room to get a better understanding too. So, and also I noticed sometimes when you hear yourself saying something and some of your opportunities and some of your challenges seem like you take the monkey off your back, and you just hearing yourself saying it, be able to say it and voice it out, give you strength. And a lot of times it's not about forgiving the other person. A lot of times it's about forgiving yourself. So tonight we're going to have fun. The topic tonight is an interesting one, something that I know a lot about. I've been on the wrong side of this topic before, so we're going to talk about that. But let me turn it back over to Glenda. I'm sorry, Glenda, to get long-winded. I just love Sunday night at 9.
Okay, no problem. Tonight's topic, everyone, like Mr. Carpenter says, we have a very good one. If any one of you on the line know anything about narcissism, tonight is your night to speak up. All right, the topic for tonight is covert narcissism, recognizing the subtle signs, how to spot manipulation and
Okay, I think her sound may be going off. So I'll say what she's saying right now. Tonight topic is, can everybody hear me first? Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Okay, because I think we lost Glenda for a minute. Glenda, I think we lost you in the first part of that discussion. All right, the nice topic is Covert Narcissism, recognizing the subtle signs and how to spot manipulation to protect your peace. Your peace is priceless, so you want to protect it. So that's what the nice topic is. And covert narcissism is kind of sneaky. It's where it's where a person's not loud or boisterous like traditional narcissisms are. This one is instead is more subtle, more manipulative, and they are emotional draining. So if you ever played victim, and well, if you ever been exposed to one, and you find yourself being emotional drained, and you want to always seem like they're making you feel guilty, like you're the problem, then you may have encountered covert narcissism. Okay, Glenda, you back? Were you back with us?
Yeah, yeah. I don't know what happened, but yes, I'm here. Can you hear me?
I can hear you very well.
Okay, all right,
All right,
thanks.
go ahead. I'll give it back over to you. But I just wanted to get that started because tonight, oh, we got a lot to cover tonight, and I want to be a part of this tonight really bad. Go ahead, Glenn.
Okay, no problem. So I'm gonna kick it off with the illustration for tonight. As always, we have the emotional guilt trip. Tamara is a successful entrepreneur who takes care of her family. Every time she sets a boundary with her partner, he responds with, "Wow, I guess I don't matter to you anymore." She feels guilty and ends up explaining or giving in just to keep the peace. Now, I'm familiar with that myself, but Tamara has a lot on her plate right about now dealing with someone like that because when it comes to your family, especially if you're not married, sometimes the boyfriend does have to go on the back burner because he's not a spouse, in my opinion. But at the same time, too, everybody has to be in their respectful place in your relationship. But for her to have to give in or over explain herself to him in regards to her family, for whatever reason, I feel as if personally she's doing a little too much because she doesn't need to explain herself. Ms. Carpenter, you want to chime in
Yeah.
and make a comment on that?
Yes. Also, relationships boundaries are important. You have to take care of yourself, and your partner should be want you to take care of yourself too, and want to protect self. Because in a relationship, both of you have accountability of each other, taking care of the relationship. It's a partnership, and both of you have accountability for your own actions in a relationship. So if I set some boundaries that's within the preview of our partnership, and you keep making me erode my boundaries, you keep making me give up my boundaries, or you keep beating my boundaries down to satisfy you, then there's something wrong. There is something wrong in there. Here's what's happening here. She's being made to feel guilty. The person saying, I don't matter. Hell, you showing me that me on the other side don't matter. So how can you say you don't matter when you turn me down? It's the opposite. So it's very important you realize that. And I've experienced this too, firsthand, where this person always made me feel like I was wrong, always made me feel like I was selfish, always made me feel like my priorities were so much. And I was saying, Dad, I'm not asking for much. I'm not asking for much at all. And I thought I was very easy and very accommodating. And matter of fact, a lot of people call me a marshmallow. That's how much it was. And I was saying, dang, I'm giving all I can give. And this person still making me feel like I'm inadequate, like I'm not enough.
Right, right.
And I didn't know, so I thought I would try. I said I'll try harder. I started looking down on my own self, and I started feeling like I was losing a little of my confidence and self-esteem.
Mm-hmm.
And the person swore they love me, and we supposed to have a great relationship. But after the relationship was over with, I look back now, man, I got took. I was robbed. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead. I had to share that. And wait, first, have anyone else shared this? Let's talk about this scenario right here. Have you ever been with somebody that they always made it seem like it was your fault and they were always the victim and you was always the villain when you know in your heart that you had their best interest and the best interest of the relationship at hand? Anyone other than me ever felt like that before? Have you ever experienced that? Because I want to know how it made you feel and how did you overcome it?
Uh,
Yeah,
One at a time. Who's first?
Mr. Kingdom.
All right, Mr. King
ladies,
first.
ladies, ladies first.
Who
Oh,
was
no. I'm the host, so you go first.
Well, yeah, well, I've been in that situation where I was made to feel guilty. I was in a situation where I've always given in. But then what made me overcome it was after my second divorce when I learned how to love myself. Because once I learned how to love myself, then I can understand how not to be used again because I learned what my worth was.
Right.
Once you learn what your worth is, then you communicate with whomever, whether it's your spouse, companion, or your employer. You communicate. And then you got to learn how to not give in to a certain extent. You
Correct.
still have to give in to keep the peace, but to a certain extent. And that's what I had to learn and overcome with, you know? And like I've always told y'all, communication is the key to everything. It's not
Right.
what you say, it's how you say it. And as they say in the Bible, your cup runneth over. One day you keep giving in until you're going to explode.
mm-hmm.
And that's the part you don't want to get to. So, like I said, learn how to love yourself first. Keep yourself at peace and happy. That way you can understand what your worth is. That's what I had to do.
Okay. Who was somebody else that said something? Who was the other person that wanted to speak?
Well, I was starting to talk, but the audience can talk. You can keep it moving.
Yeah. Anybody in the audience have anything they want to share about that? Okay, Glenda, you can go ahead and say what you want to say because I want to say another part of this based on what Mr.
No,
King.
you go ahead because
Okay,
I'm in the chat
Mr.
right now.
King, Mr. King was 100% right. You got to know your worth. But here's what happens a lot of times, and I'm speaking for myself now. I'm speaking just for me. How I know this, my wanting to please my mate and my partner so much, I forgot about who I was in a relationship. I knew my worth, but I wanted to please so much. I wanted the relationship to go so well, and I wanted to have the best relationship possible.
Mm-hmm.
And I let my own boundaries down, and I just wanted to please. And I thought that the person on the other side felt the same way about me. And I thought, by us putting our best foot forward for each other and being accountable to each other, that it would work out. And, at the end of the day, I see now that it didn't. I see now that I was pulled in, and I see I got used in that relationship. But a lot of times, you know your worth, but something pulls you across that line, and before you know it, you cross that line. You're all in, and then one day you wake up. Damn, what did I do? That was my story. All right, go
But
ahead. Go ahead.
I'll
Somebody.
tell you,
Anybody else want to share a similar experience before we go on to the next example?
well, since no one is saying anything, Rufus, on that note,
Mm-hmm.
when you learn, first of all, we're fools when it comes to love. Until you learn how to love yourself, you really don't know how to love who you with.
Mm-hmm.
Once you learn how to love yourself, then and only then can you really know how to love another person to the fullest.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I had to learn. And I just wanted to put that out there.
All right, excellent.
Great
Go ahead.
point. Great point. Now, the lesson from the example that we just went over is a covert narcissist uses guilt to control. Healthy relationship respect boundaries. So if you're in a healthy relationship and the person that you are booed up with, they respect your boundaries, you are in a great place. Because if you find yourself in a position or in a relationship with a narcissist, they will not respect your boundaries because they feel like they are entitled and everything's supposed to go their way. and they will make you feel guilty. So moving on to our next example for tonight, the "I was just joking" insult. Sierra boyfriend often makes backhanded comments about her weight. Oh, no, he doesn't. Career or personality. When she speaks up, he laughs and says, "You take everything so seriously. It was just a joke." But deep down, Sierra feels small and insecure. I haven't been in that particular situation, but I can imagine how Sierra feels when he makes those little sly comments about her weight, her career, and her personality, because it's like a blow under the belt, a blow to the, below the belt, like makes her feel less than an individual, like maybe she's not attractive enough, but it really kills her self-esteem by the comments that he made. So does anyone have any comments or feedback about that illustration or example that we just went over?
Andre had something in the comments. Did you see it?
He has a lot in the comments.
I mean, about this one. Andre, can you share this one you just did about the sensitive people, about the sensitive?
What I was just saying is that sometimes when people make the statement, "It's just a joke," they will try to deflect by just saying that you're just too sensitive, when really the statement they made was truly offensive and they should have just apologized.
Right, but they don't care because they meant what they said.
But I wonder sometimes, do people feel validations by making others feel small? So it's not that they may not necessarily care. That's the only way they can feel validated sometimes.
Or the other word, relevant in the relationship.
Yes, relevant, yes.
But whether they know it or not, that's a very good way to, sabotage your relationship, because a real woman or a real man that endures that, they're not going to tolerate that, not for a long period of time, unless they are really damaged or their self-esteem is like in the toilet. Nobody, no real grown tail woman.
But I don't think he's looking for the grown tail woman. I think he's looking for the person that is embracing his whatever the bad comments he's making.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think we're losing Glenda. I think her internet may be a little weak, but you're right with that, because a lot of times when the person say that, it's their one up, or they think they're controlling the narrative of that relationship or the conversation, when really all they're doing is putting down their partner or the person. Think about it. If you're in a relationship with me, and me and you supposed to be in a relationship together, and we're supposed to be growing together, supposed to be partners or booed up, or a husband or wife, or boyfriend, girlfriend, fiance, or whatever that situation is. And if you turn me down, then even if it's the slight comments or the backhand remarks, what are you doing here? How can we build anything lasting? How can we have a connection? How can we build anything lasting with that? First, how would you address that? Let's get beyond just what's going on. How would you address someone giving those joke remarks? Who on the line that would have a great way of addressing that?
Well, the first thing is, I feel from experience and being on that end of the stick, it's about someone else trying to have control and be in control. That's what the bottom line is. So what you have to do is come to a mean, because like I've always said also, when a person gets sick and tired of being sick and tired, they're going to make a change.
Mm-hmm.
So what you do is you got to pray and figure out a way to make a change. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
You don't want to get to the point like you that cat where your back is up against the wall. You got to come off of it. So you got to figure out your out. With me, now what I did after my second divorce, I learned how, like I said, to love myself.
Mm-hmm.
And once I figured out my worth and my happiness and what it takes for my happiness, that's when I, as they say, grew the balls or grew up to the point where now I could stand up. Now, because I can stand up and I'm more, let's say, I'm in that state of mind, I'm at the point now where I'm going to stay happy. And I'm trying to keep you happy. But then I'm not going to be walked on either.
Okay. Anyone else? Because how would you handle it in a modern relationship? Whether it's a straight couple, gay couple, how would you handle that? If if two women couple, and how would you address that? Or a man and woman couple, how would you address that in a relationship? What would that sound like?
I think firstly, the person may have to ask themselves if that relationship is worth it. Because if it's worth it, then I think the conversation is a little bit easier. But if it's not worth it, then that's an easier conversation as well, because you know how to move. You feel comfortable moving on. But if you feel like you're losing something, I think that's what makes the conversation harder.
Yeah, because the reason why I said a straight or gay couple, because I dealt with women. Women seem to be smarter than men in conversation, I believe, to me. Because a lady would say something to you pretty fast, would tell you something. So how would you check that? For instance, if me and Glenda was in a conversation and Glenda said something about me, let's say, what was something you could say about me, Glenda, that would be kind of backhanded or out of the way?
Oh, goodness. You got too much gray in your beard.
Okay, if she's now that's gonna really hurt me because I don't want to gray in my beard. I can't.
Just for men, just for men, just for men.
Yeah, and see, if you said that, I think I would take it the first couple times. I think I would take it, and then I would say, "Look, Linda, hey, look, I can't do nothing about it. It's something that's there. Please, if I could change it, I would change it." And I'm not gonna put no Grecian formula, whatever. I'm not gonna diet. The way God gave it, that's the way it's gonna be. Period. And if Glenda would keep addressing that, then I would. I don't think that would be a deal breaker. It wouldn't be a deal breaker, but I think I'd be kind of upset when every time she would say it, I would have to put her in her place. I guess that's the way I can say it. A comment on it. That might not have been a good example, but can anyone help us out in the audience? That how would you handle if someone did that joking thing and insults you with a joke, and you knew it was straight just wrong?
I think, Rufus, what we should do. Now, like I say, every time I speak, it's from my personal experiences I've been through. I was always taught from my granddaddy is when something hurts you or bothers you, and whether it's a close friend or just a friend or whoever it might be, don't start nothing you can't finish. Meaning, when they do give those jokingly remarks that offends you, you have to let a person know that it does offend you.
Right.
And let them know where you stand. Because if you don't, and you just, okay, like Eddie Murphy say, then guess what they're going to do? They're going to continuously do it. But if you let them know in a respectful way that it bothers you, and if they they continuously do it, and it continuously bothers you, then you have to be man or woman enough to step up and either distance yourself and move on, or it's on you to stay there. And if you stay there, then hey, that's your weakness. Yeah. But you have to let them know that it bothers you, because a person sometimes do stuff not knowing that it offends you. So you have to just let them know, communicate, and let them know. That's how I see it.
Yeah, because a lot of us are take it until we just can't take it no more. And that one day we just blow up.
That cup runs over.
Yeah, and it may be a deal breaker. That might even say, you can keep you and that horse you rode in on. I'm out of here. That's the way it works. All right, I think.
Yeah, but how many times you've been in a situation where somebody do something to offend you, and they do it unconsciously, meaning they don't know that they're offending you, and they keep doing it, and then you don't say nothing, and they just continuously do it. Correct. Where if you would have just said, "Hey, look, I appreciate if you didn't do that because it really offends me.
Right.
You know what I mean? Then maybe they sit down, if they got a conscience or they really sincere about you or whatever, then they can look at it from a different angle and say, wow, if he's gonna keep getting mad about that, then I'm doing something wrong, so maybe I shouldn't do it. But now, like I said, you let them know and they're aware and they're no longer a fool about it, guess what? Then you can step up and make your decision and do what you gotta do.
Awesome. Awesome. Okay, Glenda, let's go to 3.
All right.
Hey,
I'm gonna probably.
Go ahead.
I'm a,
Somebody want to say something?
I was gonna ask, can I chime in on that before you all
yes,
transition?
yes, yes,
Yes,
yes.
sir.
I was kind of thinking. I had put in the chat that sometimes the guy may say something to the extent of, "This is how I am," or even the girl may say, "This is how I was raised. This is how I am. This is me. Take it or leave it." Right? And then I think someone in the chat responded that they would probably dish it back as well. And I just started thinking about how so often I see people going tick for tat in relationships. They stay in a relationship for whatever reason, but they go tick for tat. And then I just be in my mind thinking you have these 20-year toxic, dysfunctional relationships, but in their mind that's how they've been functioning all these years.
Now I've been in a relationship like that, and I got tired of it. I was like,
See?
this is like playing tic-tac-toe. I ain't got time for all these games. I said he do something, then I give it back to him the same way he gave it to me. It was the most miserable relationship I was ever. I just lost interest over time. I mean, we really killed it. I can't even say it was his fault all by himself. It was our fault because when he did it, I came right behind him and did it right back to him. It was like we were playing a game. And it was I
Exactly.
was very miserable.
Been there,
Sometimes
done that.
sometimes we get caught up because sometimes in our relationships, because like there again, this is another personal experience. You have people that do certain things for you from the heart at one point till the relationship start going on where they start getting that upper hand and that control to the point where now you, the one that's taking it, feel that you owe them something. So they keep doing what they're doing and you continuously stay in it for the reason that you feel, oh man, but they did this and now your self-esteem is down to the point where you feel you owe them. So that's why a lot of people stay in those situations also.
But Mr. Kingdom, what you just said
Yeah.
is a trap. Some people use it as a trap, and that's a narcissism. That's what they use as a trap. Like let's say,
Some of
for
them
instance,
do.
yeah, let's say for instance that a lady, a lady, every time you come over her house, she cooks, she buys you presents and stuff like that, and she does it all the time. She surprised you all the time doing this stuff. And you saying, wow, you said, ma'am, I'm good. You don't have to do this for me. I'm good. I'm good. But she's always doing it. Well, sometimes it's out of their heart and they're just a giving person. Sometimes they're narcissisms and they want to trap you. They want to make you feel obligated. They want to because and then when they want something, they say, well, hey, look, I did all this for you. I cooked for you. I brought all this for you. And here's what I get back in return. And you be saying, I didn't ask for all that stuff. I told you don't do it. And then they just go on and listen. And every time you have an argument, you just gotta shake your head and say, ma'am, I told you don't do these things.
That's called a hidden agenda.
Yes, 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 yes. And back up, we're gonna back up for that where Andre said that tit for tat. I was in a relationship and this lady and I worked a lot of hours. So a lot of times we would have events that me and this lady would go to, and I can't get off because one of my employees wouldn't show, and I would come late to the event or something like that. Then when I had something scheduled, she had to come through. She would actually be really late, real late. And then I would look for her. So where you at? What happened? I just wanted you to feel how I felt when you didn't show up the last time for my stuff. And I said, what in the world? I says, I didn't mean to do that. She said, well, I just wanted you to see how it felt. And I said, ma'am, look, both of us going to have black eyes. You said eye for an eye. We're going to both be blind in this relationship. Let's keep up. And it got to the point I just couldn't take it no more. I just couldn't take it no more. It was bad. It was bad. So you're right. That Andre, you were right with that one. It was bad. It was bad. All right. Any more comments before we move on to 3? Because 3 is a good one. All right, Glenda, 3.
All right, I want to apologize for my internet. I don't know what the problem is, but if I drop, Mr. Carpenter, please.
I'll continue. I got it.
I appreciate it. All right, example number 3, the master of silent treatment. Aisha's fiance ignores her for days when she doesn't do what he wants. No calls, no texts. Then suddenly he acts like nothing happened. She left confused, anxious, and desperate to fix things. I don't think she need to fix anything. I think she need to let her boo go. They're not married yet. And this example says fiance. This is a clear example of maybe you should rethink whether or not you should marry this person, because if you don't do or say what someone wants and they stop calling you, stop texting you, stop showing you affection, that's a red flag to me. Because it's not going to get better, because this is a sure sign that as the relationship progresses, you go into marriage, it's going to be worse. And who wants to be married to someone that you can't talk to, or they're not going to respond to your text messages? I mean, that doesn't even make sense to me.
This one happens every day. This one,
it does. It does.
This one happens every day. Audience, how do we handle that?
Run.
Angela used to say, run like Forrest, huh?
Run, Forrest, run.
That's right.
Well, the situation is, hey, if somebody's going to be silent like that, how can you fix a problem if you don't know there's a problem?
Right. And
let's piggyback on what I just said. If you don't let a person know something, how can they fix it to make it better?
But here's my thing. How in the world can you punish a grown person? They call themselves punishing you. I'm already grown. My mom and dad did all they could do before I got to where I could do all I could do to be grown. So you're not going to punish me. It amazes me how they call themselves going to correct or punish you with that kind of stuff. When they do that to me, no problem. We just won't talk.
And you be talking to somebody else the next week.
That ain't cool, because that's just, you know what? You just brought back a hurt piece from back in the days, when I had that old crazy mentality. That's just like they say, when you want somebody else will. You understand? It's like a woman trying to tame a grown man by using what she's got. No, you can't do it because you ain't doing that. So only thing that's going to do is just push him where? To the next one. Same thing with a man. It's vice versa. So that ain't cool. It's all about us being grown, knowing what we want, knowing ourselves, loving ourselves, and deciding whether we want to accept that or not. If you're the one and you weak-minded and want to accept something like that and be miserable, hey, so be it. By all means necessary. Me personally, I don't think it's healthy. I say move on.
Absolutely. I second that.
Yep. Because see, the first part is they won't talk to you. They won't talk to you or they won't text. But it goes further than that. That's the first leg of that journey. The next leg of the journey, you can't get no affection. You can't get no whatever. They're going to start withholding other things in a relationship. Right. And then, matter of fact, it becomes a reward and a punishment tool.
Can I say something?
Yes, please, Sharon. Go ahead.
I love when they try to act like that, because they just don't know. They don't open the door for me to do what I want to do. And guess what? After 1 or 2 times trying to contact them and they ignore me or brush me off, trust me, they'll be contacting me before I contact them again.
I know that's right. You said I can show them better than I can tell them.
That's right.
I heard that before.
I tell you what, they got a word for that. When you go out there and you try to avoid somebody like this, called ghosting. Ghost me if you want to. You ghost me if you want to. You know, when you try to reach out to a person and they ain't there, they don't ghost you.
No.
So guess what you do? You go and you find another spirit there that's available, and you keep going and you move on and you get happy. And then that ghost gonna come and appear again and be like, oh, like nothing never happened. Oh, you late now.
Well, me personally, I'm not gonna be out there looking for nobody else. What I'm gonna be out there doing is making sure that you realize don't do this no more. Because, like I said, the time you hear from me, you'll be contacting me.
If you, let's say this couple was married, instead of fiancés, they were a married couple. Would it make a difference?
No.
No.
Okay.
The outcome is the outcome.
Shoot, they make it worse.
It really does.
That's worse.
And then let me make a comment for the young lady that just spoke. A female really ain't supposed to be out there looking for anyone anyway, because he who finds a good wife finds a good thing. So they'll come to you.
I don't think the man should be out there looking either.
He's not looking. He who finds don't mean he's out there looking for you.
They stumble across the woman. Is that what you're saying, Mr. Keaton?
No, I'm not saying you stumble across. It's just God put people in your path. And you would know when that path is crossed. Okay. You'll know when they come there. You really would. Sometimes, like in some of my seminars I used to give, God gonna send you. A female basically prays for, Lord, send me a good man. Send me a good man. Well, God will send you a man 70 to 75% of what you're looking for. He's not gonna send you nobody perfect. Instead of you taking that man at that 70, 75% and add another 15% to him to get that perfect man that you so-called got, because he ain't gonna be truly perfect, but he's gonna be what you're looking for, we kick him to the curb.
Right.
Okay. Any comments? Any comments? No comments, because this is more than romance now. You know.
Andre put in the chat. Andre put in the chat. God sends you what you need and not always what you want. I agree with that.
That's 100%. God knows. Oh my God, that is so true, Andre. That is so true. That is so true. Oh my God, you just I'm gonna chills.
Hey, what happened? What happened when you don't want what you need?
Well, let me tell you something. Let me tell you something.
That has long-term effect.
I've always, me personally, in the dating field, I've always liked a woman with meat on their bones. God sent my second wife, and she was petite. And it was not what I wanted, but it was what I needed for that time, for who she was. Everybody's in your life for not necessarily a season, not necessarily a lifetime, but they have a purpose. Right. They have a purpose when God put them there. Just like with my situation, with my second marriage, after praying and all that, I realized she was there for a season. Her season was to give me my son. And that was it. You understand? So it is what it is.
Okay. We had any other question about this number 3, the solid treatment? And the solid treatment also can be other things too, like withhold sex and all this kind of stuff too, and passion and intimacy. It's not just the solid treatment. We just use the solid treatment as the door opener.
You can't tame a man, and a man can't tame a woman. You can work together and make things happen. You can move a mountain.
Okay. Any more comments before we move on to the next one?
Okay, so Andre says, so being nonchalant can be a subtle trait.
Andre, you talking about me, Andre? You calling my whole card, Andre?
So somebody else know you, Rufus?
Because don't much get to me. I let a lot of stuff roll off my back. And then a lot of stuff in relationship, people say, well, man, they're ready to go to war. Hey, it's not that important. It's not that serious. Life gets to be easy. And I'll say that, and I'll be nonchalant. Where really, I've thought it through, and it wasn't worth my effort of fussing or getting all irate. And I just let it pass over. So sometimes when you're nonchalant, it's that you've already thought through it, and you weighed out the pros and cons of jumping up or acting a fool. You know how to say count to 10 or 20 before you speak?
Right.
Some of us practice that.
Woosah.
Right, woosah. So the lesson we're going to learn, or the lesson we can learn from our third example, is withholding affection is manipulation. Silence is a weapon, not a solution.
Okay.
Now we're going to move on to our example number 4, the fake good guy act. The fake good guy act. Brittany's husband is charming in public. Everyone thinks he's amazing, but at home, he subtly controls what she wears, who she talks to, and makes her feel guilty for wanting time alone. That's not a very nice husband. I have not been through this one. I have not been or gone through this example, but by the sounds of it, Brittany is not a happy person in her marriage, because that would get tiresome and old.
I've never been through it, but I've heard a lot of couples that have been through it. And I've heard a lot of ladies tell me that say, hey, look, you guys talk about my husband like he's King Kong, and like he's Superman or best God's gift or whatever. But that MF ain't worth a darn. He don't do nothing at home. I can't get him to do this. I can't get him to do that. He don't bring no money. It's a facade they have out in the public, but back in the home front where they're supposed to be pitching in and being accountable at the house, ain't working. It ain't working. And a lot of ladies will go ahead and accept that and won't, and they'll live that life because they feel they have a piece of a man's better than no man.
Right.
And I've heard that a lot in mixed relationships, or mixed marriages, or mixed racial marriages. I've heard that a lot. It says some cultures, the man is king and the wife is the servant, or that kind of stuff. And I've heard some stories, and I've counseled some people that, wow, that traditional stuff, it's rough. It's rough. What are some of your comments on the line, ladies and gents, of how would you handle that? What would that look like? Or how would you address that in a relationship? Because I know you wouldn't bust your husband out in public. I know you wouldn't say that, y'all think my husband all this, but he ain't, you might say it with your girlfriends. You and your girlfriend might be in the back room, talking about it, but I don't think you're going to bust him out in public. Or maybe, I don't know. How would you handle?
Some will. I believe some will, but most women, I feel as if most women will probably pull their husband off to the side or say something to them either in the car or at home. That public embarrassment, that's not healthy, because that's going to bring on another chain reaction for something else to happen. Because he's going to be embarrassed and be like, oh my God, I can't believe you just did that.
Man, that goes back to know your worth. You're a grown person and know what you want in life. When they're doing that fake stuff out there in public and come home, that's just like domestic violence type stuff. You figure they out there, they're the perfect person out in the world. Come home, want to tear your butt up, speak and put you down, mental abuse.
Right.
That ain't cool. Do you want to accept that? You know what you want in life. So that's another deal breaker. Move on.
Now, Sharon, what were you saying, Sharon, in your text? Sharon, I just saw your text. What were you saying?
I was saying that, yes, when you say you wouldn't expose them out in public, yes, I would. I'll keep it real. Don't play with me. Don't try to play a front out in public, because if I'm there, guess what? You're going to get busted.
If you watch Tyler Perry movies, this happens a lot. And the ladies be talking to each other. No, he didn't. Would you believe? It happens a lot. It's almost like one of his scripts. So that's something you would counter. That's something you would encounter. These are the basic things when we talk about narcissism, covert. A lot of us know when we see it firsthand, but when it's in the background, subtle, we don't see it. We don't understand it. And a lot of times, and the night we want to do tonight, because traditionally Black women are stereotyped as being strong, nurturing, and forgiving. And a lot of times it's at your own expense. And sometimes guys take advantage of you because they know that, because they feel that about you. Mm-hmm. And when they do that, it's like it make you constantly doubt yourself. If you feel yourself doubting yourself or feeling emotional drain when you're dealing with certain people or a certain person, you got to ask yourself, am I being played? Is this person manipulating me? Because all of us want to be loved. All of us want to be in a relationship. All of us want to have friends. This is not just a lover. Sometimes your friends are the worst.
Yeah.
You got friends that take advantage of you.
Yes, they do.
And so you have to realize that. So that's why we wanted to get this tonight, because a lot of times the signs of narcissism in your life is the person plays the victim. They play the victim. Hey, Sharon, every time we go out, you want me to pay for this and you want me to pay for that, and you never pitch in, or you never get the ticket or whatever. And you do get a ticket kind of regular. When you go out, a lot of times you the one driving the car. They riding with you. You the one put gas in your car, and they never offer to put any gas in your car, and they always ride with you, and they never want to drive. Right. So these are the things you look at. Gaslighting. They always make you feel guilty. You're always the bad person in that. It's always you. Like your husband. Your husband might say, "Hey, I don't want to go out with you no more, baby, because you always act out in public. You always embarrass us. Why you just can't be like the rest of the wives? Why you always got to be outspoken? Why they make you feel like, hey, like you're less than, like you're doing something wrong when you just being yourself." Right. You might be a bright lady that's really intelligent and have some value to offer in conversations. So when people ask, the answer, you speak. Where some husbands want you to stand in a corner and not say a word because they don't want you to be seen by other people. These are some of the things that you have to notice when you're out, when you with a relationship. If other person crave always for control in a relationship. These are some of the signs. And especially, go ahead. Somebody says,
Mr. Carpenter, it was a question in the chat. It says, so is the alpha person a narcissist because they go after a beta?
It all depends on how it's done and the techniques and strategies they use and the tools they use to go after the beta. It all depends. Okay. Because if they use some of these tactics, some of those 4 tactics you just used tonight to do that, then yes. But if they honestly go to the beta to actually say, hey, look, together, we have some different things. Here's what I have to offer. Here's what you have to offer. Let's compare. Let's combine our strengths and weaknesses and be a powerful couple. Then it's not.
Okay.
But if they got to manipulate themselves to make the beta seem less than, then it would be manipulation.
But I guess my question though, so like let's say you're a person who, like, let's just say if you go out to somebody who is nurturing and caring. So you the guy, the scrub who has nowhere to live, and you choose a woman who loves being a provider. Mm-hmm. Is that kind of narcissist that you went after the woman that you knew well, that's what she wants to do. She wants to care for you, and you may not like her, but it's tax time, and you're there.
Well, you already know the answer to that one, Andre. That's before you brought it out, Andre. Your question answered itself. Yes, the answer is yes. And that's when we had the hobosexual, or whatever that thing was, that one we had a long time ago. That's what that one was. So yes, the answer is yes, it is. Yes, it is. This and the topic we did tonight, we wanted a topic tonight because this is something that happens a lot. All of us on this line has been some form of fashion, whether we've been a victim or whether we've been the perpetrator or whether we have friends or relationships or family members that have experienced this. This is something we see all in our neighborhood all the time because you have someone that's lazy, someone that feels they can get yours instead of providing their own. We have people that don't want to work. We have people that some people have mental health issues.
Right.
So these are some of the things that we notice in our community. And a lot of times Black women get taken advantage of because we know you're nurturing. We know you're strong. We know you're independent. We know you're caring.
Right.
And a lot of guys take advantage of that. And now we have a lot of same-sex marriages and relationships. A lot of times, if you're a man, a man's habits and the way they carry themselves, you can manipulate the heck out of them. Same with a woman. If you know what women like, and you're a woman, you know how to manipulate her. So you have to be careful. You really have to be careful now because loneliness is one of the biggest things in America right now. The Surgeon General said so many people are lonely and want to be in a relationship. And he even said it's affecting people's health. So if you have a chance to be with somebody and a person halfway show themselves interest in you and you say, wow, this may be an opportunity for me. I don't want to blow it. You might get took. It might be a chance for you to get took. And that's all we're saying. All we're saying is let's come together as a community and get this out there so you'll know. All narcissists aren't blatant. They aren't traditional. Some of them are covert. Some of them you don't know. Somebody on this line might be dating somebody right now, and that might be why you're quiet, because you're saying, damn, that's what's happening in my house. That's what's happening in my relationship. I'm going through that right now. So, and I didn't know that. Like I told you, I've been in a relationship like that, and I thought this girl loved the heck out of me. I thought we were gonna ride or die. But after realizing this, I said, man, I was played. I was played. And I know now. So, but this is the reason why we wanted to get this out, because it seems simple, but if you don't know, you just don't know. And a lot of times people make you look at yourself and say, what am I doing wrong? Well, really, you're not. You're giving. You're trying your best to be the best in that relationship when the other person is really playing you like a fiddle.
Right, correct.
And if you never knew and don't know, you're going to get played.
Right.
You might have married somebody like this. You might be in a marriage this way. And you may say, well, what do I do? I'm married to this person. This is what my husband or my wife is.
Right.
What do I do?
They had to have shown, if they're in a marriage, they had to have shown those signs prior to saying I do. I really believe that. Yeah,
but Glenda, what I'm saying, Glenda, they showed the signs, but you're not reading the signs. You're not reading the tea leaves, baby. You continue to go down that road.
That is true.
If you don't know, you don't know. Andre, what you got, Andre? Andre, what was that? Please, people avoid the signs by trying. Yes, that's Andre just answered it in the chat.
Okay. my peace of mind and my happiness means more than ignoring the red flags right about now.
But you don't wait. Hold up, Glenda. Wait. That's a slippery slope there.
Not at my age today.
Yeah, but a lot of times you might feel you're happy because that person may make you feel like they're happy. They may be giving you gifts. They may be bringing you stuff, and they might be compensating on one end for what they're doing on the other end.
Oh, I'm gonna check that out as soon as we get offline.
I don't agree with that. I'm with Glenda. I don't agree with that. You know what you want. Huh?
Explain.
Explain it. Well, the thing is, the way I see it,
Mm-hmm.
you know what you want.
Okay.
Exactly.
You know where you at in your life.
Mm-hmm.
You understand?
Mm-hmm.
You got common sense to know, and you have your intuition to feel whether you being used or somebody's trying to sucker you in.
That's true.
It can only go so far. You know yourself. Now, if you one of them and you just lacking somewhere mentally, you allow them to keep giving you like that because you're drawn to that. But if you're a true person and you know yourself and your worth, you're not going to let nobody sucker you in like that and play you. You're not going to be used that way.
You know what? Put in the chat. Here's the thing. Put in the chat. If anybody be honest, I don't want you to speak it out. If anybody been played by any of these scenarios tonight in chat, put in the chat. If you've been played by one of these scenarios, put yes.
Okay.
And we'll
I ain't got to put
my yes in there. If you've been
Rufus,
played by one of these scenarios,
and
here's the thing, even if you knew that you wouldn't be played, even if you thought your stuff was so tight that you wouldn't be played. Where's my chat at on this thing?
I ain't got to put it in the chat. I'm going to tell you I've been used and abused. Shit, I ain't got to put it in the chat. I can say it out loud and proudly.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, Mr. Kingdom, that you knew that you thought you were so together that you would never be played. That's what I'm saying. I'm saying when you knew when you played, you thought you were sharp. Because when that lady played me, I just knew I was tough. I thought I was the SHIT. And I found out I was in the SHIT. So, hey, Laura, I saw Laura's name in the chat. When did she come on?
She snuck in there.
Yeah,
How are you?
Good. I haven't seen you in a while. I'm trying to put yes in the chat here.
I didn't put anything in the chat because I came in late, and so I don't know exactly what the conversation is all about.
We had a good conversation tonight. We were talking about undercover narcissism, the people that are covert narcissism, and how do you protect your peace? And we were saying peace is one of the most important things you keep. And a lot of times we shared that a lot of people now are getting more covert with manipulation, where they might make you feel like they're helping you, but they're really taking from you. Right. And we found out a lot of like ladies and females are nurturers, are supportive and strong. And a lot of times guys take advantage of that because they know you that way. So they play to your strengths to support themselves. And we just covered that. And Mr. Kingdom said that if you know your worth, then it's very hard for somebody to take advantage of you because you know your worth. And I was telling him that you still know your worth. There, people are so slick, you still fall for the okie doke. And it happens. Some people are so smooth and so slick, they get you regardless. You can have all your eyes wide open. You can know what time of day. You can have your boundaries up, and sometimes you still get got. And that's what we were there. And that's why I had people to put in chat. If you got knowing that you know what you know and still got. I want you to put yes in the chat. And that's all we were just trying to see. All right, we're about ready to end this. Any comments, questions, or concerns that anybody want to share about this subject, any other subject we dealt with over the last couple of weeks? Anybody want to bring any input in? Any interesting things we want to talk? Well, let's see who we got tonight. We got Annette tonight. We got Dr. Johnson tonight. We got Ava tonight. We got iPhone tonight. We got Sharon tonight. We got Andre. We got Priscilla. Hey, Priscilla, how you doing? We've got Mr. Kingdom. We got Andre. We got Gigi. Hey, and we got Laura. Hey, everybody. Glad to have you. Guys are the best audience in the world. You have taken us so far that we are just so happy and elated that you're here with us on Sunday night, because this is our chance to talk relationships. And we try to bring some interesting subjects, and we try to keep it real, because this is a community forum where we're here to help each other. Some of us, when we get off the line tonight, we're going to say, darn, this, my partner or my spouse, my boo or my whatever is taking advantage of me, and now I know I can go and confront them, or I can go ahead and put together a plan that I can change this. Because a lot of times you see stuff, you just don't go and upset the apple cart and tear up your household. You have to kind of like put a plan in place. And that's all we're doing tonight. We're just letting you know some of the things that's going on in a relationship. All right, Glenda, you want to take us home?
Well, no, because we're a minute over our time. But I do thank everyone for showing up, and also always it is a blessing to see Dr. Johnson, because I know that she has been under the weather. Thank you for sacrificing and coming on tonight. But if all hearts and minds are clear, we can go ahead and end tonight, and I'll see y'all next week.
All right. Good night, everybody. Thanks for being here. Good night.
Good night.